evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot, and tonight we are going to start yet another brand new park. That's number 5, I believe, in our unique Jurassic World Evolution sort of continuing series thingamajiggy. Now, the by far most requested park in the last few videos has been a safari style park, and that is exactly what we're going to do. So the plan is to have a jeep tour basically that takes you around the entire park. Now there are going to be fences and there are going to be gates, but they're going to be very well hidden and in different locations. You could do the whole thing completely open plan, but then your dinosaurs are going to mix and match across the whole thing. Your Spinosaurus will walk into your forest, your Brachiosaurus will go live in your swamp, stuff like that. I think splitting it out a little bit is a good idea, but I really like the idea of a park that we can explore fully via the Jeep and nothing else. You'll get on the Jeep, you'll drive off, and that is it. That is the only way you're going to explore this park. So basically, if you're a normie human, you're not going to explore the park at all. So we have some things to do. I guess one of the first things we're going to need to do is set up a sort of hatchery zone sort of thing. So we'll stick it down here in the corner because this is a rubbish, just terrible place where nobody wants to live. A trash town it is. It's a trash town. And we'll just block this off with some concrete for now. And this is just so we can make our dinosaurs in one place and just not have hatcheries all over my very pretty park. And I'll cover this all with it. This really doesn't matter. I'm just going to make a little thing. But it's beautiful. Oh my god. It's the prettiest thing I've ever designed. We should do some sandbox settings nice and quick. I want unlimited power, unlimited feeders, and no disease. We should be good. Bam. Turn the sound up ever so slightly, just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, so that is on the way. We do need to put a path around here, but what my plan is, I'm going to put the path right against the wall and then hide it in the woods. Do I have to have a path? I'm sure I have to have a path, but I kind of wish I didn't have to have a path, so we're gonna hope, and it's randomly going to work out. Maybe. Anyways, whilst we're waiting on that, let's set up a little introduction. So we're going to do a hotel and stuff. Have like a little guest area right here at the beginning. And this is going to be the only guest area in the entire park. So the idea is you get into the park, you go chill out, you get into the hotel, you put your stuff down, you know, you maybe fumble around a little bit in the hotel bed, you hit up the shops, and then you get in your Jeep and you tour the entire park. There's no mixing and matching anything else. It's just nice and simple. I think in theory, in the old system of how this game worked, you would be able to do this and have a 5-star park because dinosaur visibility meant nothing. Unfortunately, that is no longer the case. Are you shouting at me about a path? Come on, you know you want to be good. I've got feet, I've got... Grumble, fine. I really wish you didn't have to do it. Hopefully that's the next change you bring into sandbox mode. So I really want to get this path. I mean, the path is completely unimportant, right? So what we want is just to get it really nice and tight to the wall here, and then we can hide it as much as possible. Just as long as you can't see it from the main tour, then it doesn't really matter. What we're also going to do, as people have kept suggesting, you know, lots of lovely suggestions from you folks at home, is use the gyrosphere track. Basically, well, we'll try this out super quickly now, but I believe if you put down the gyrosphere, like so, ka-chonk, and then you put the path in. I mean, this might have been a terrible idea because now it's there, but if I then delete... No, that doesn't work. I'm sure somebody said this was a thing, that you could put the gyrosphere in, and then... Huh. I thought you could put the gyrosphere in, and then delete it, and the path would stay. Is that not a thing? I thought that was a thing. People told me that was a thing. Have I been lied to? Gyrospheres can't go through gates, right? No. Huh. Okay, never mind. Whatever. Okie dokie. We're going proper open range in our safari then. People can just do what... People just wander around like absolute madmen if they so choose. There will be a gate on both sides, and it's your responsibility to drive the car over there. Like, you know, you're on an African safari, and yes, you will have a road that you follow at points, but sometimes you'll just, you know, you'll drive off into the bush a little bit. And that's kind of what we're going for here. Just completely hide that path. That is the bad path. You're not allowed to see that. There we go. I'm just going to wait until that builds, but I think it's wrong. What we do need, very importantly, is our operations. And we need a ranger station. Obviously. Now the cars, I want you to drive off the car. Which way does the car go? It's that way, right? So we want that to be there. It's going to be smack bang in the middle. About there. Okay, now if I kill you... Yeah, see, it kills that as well. This is what I'm trying to avoid. Oh, whatever. Maybe there's another way to do it that I'm unaware of. Maybe people are hiding gyrosphere stations. I mean, that's an option, right? What you could do. Grab yourself a bad boy gyrosphere. Sorry, I literally just got home from a lecture and I'm kind of rushing this. Grab yourself a bad boy gyrosphere, right? Put in the path. And then just kind of leave it like that, right? And you'd hide the gyrosphere station in the forest. Maybe that's an option. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Because I like the idea of having this path not for a gyrosphere, but for a jeep, you know, and this would snake through your safari exhibits. But I think the only way to do it would be to have this kind of system right here, where it kind of just looks like a big weird worm, and hide the gyrosphere station as much as possible and let it go through. Alternatively, we could do an actual gyrosphere thing, but the problem is then you'd have a lack of gates, and I really want to use gates to separate out the exhibits. Oh, game, if you just gave me a tiny bit more control, would be Gucci. Anyways, moving on, let's connect this path over here. And what do we want in our first exhibit? We should really get started. I think we're going to go for a Jurassic Park style opening. So brachiosaurs, parasaurs, maybe something else in there. I mean, I'm not really going to restrict myself. I think we're going to build up kind of like how they do in Jurassic Park. You know, you start off with the herbivores and you kind of build into the bigger, spookier exhibits towards the end. But we can mix and match. This is a really good opportunity to play with some herbivores that we just have kind of neglected in the past, because carnivores are cooler, usually. Not all the time, though. Not all the time. So I'm thinking you drive off, drive forward, and yeah, it's a nice place to have. Let's get some brachiosauruses, and we'll get some other sauropods. And then we can do some more later. We can do whatever the hell we want. Feel free to leave suggestions in the comment shaped thing down below. You know the drill. So let's just start with that. And let's get ourselves some default brachiosauruses. I think I really like the default colouring and I don't want to mess with that. So we're just going to go nice and default on the brachies. Just 2 of them. And then let's get some parasaurs to... Tell you what, we'll wait for the brachiosauruses first, and then we'll shove out all the, we'll just pump out the parasaurs towards the end. So that's our brachiosauruses on the way. This does mean, now that I think about it, we also need a ACU centre. Otherwise, how would we transport the dinosaurs, you silly goose? So that's going to just sit. Why don't you just flatten the train? Why don't you just flatten it? I don't understand. Just flatten the... Look, I know there's a small mound and therefore it's the end... No, stop that. It's a small mound and therefore you can't possibly build. But just flatten it. I cannot believe this wasn't fixed in the patch. It blows my mind. It really does. Oh, whatever. Right. That's as close as it's going to get, I guess. It's fine. It's not really a big deal. It'd be fine if I didn't have to attach a path. That's kind of just off to the side. That's for the security people. You're not allowed to look up there. Don't look at it. Cover your hands on that part of the screen. Thank you. Now, which way is the car facing? The car is facing the correct direction. That's good stuff. And of course, we're going to use the 1993 Jeep. Why wouldn't we? I want this to feel kind of like if Jurassic Park had expanded out into a full safari park kind of style. You know, if they'd taken the principle of that first exhibit with the Brachiosaurus, etc., and they'd run with it, you know, and turn that into the entire park. That's kind of the idea. I mean, I suppose Jurassic Park had it had a Jeep tour, of course, but it was a structured Jeep tour with, you know, what are you doing? Yeah. Okay, it was a structured Jeep tour with, you know, structure and such, so it doesn't really count. Right, guesticles, what do we want? I've got a hotel. Is that a hotel? I've got a hotel. I want a gift shop. Gift shops are the best. Come on, snap. There we go. No, come on. There we go. Beautiful. As close as we can. Bam. Lovely stuff. And I also want a restaurante. Oh, I don't want a gift shop. Why did I get a gift shop? I will get a close shop, so screw it. I don't know, this doesn't really matter, it's just more for, I don't know, for the feeling of it being an actual thing. It should feel like a park initially. Maybe we'll have a bowling alley. Never get a bowling alley, let's live the dream. Let's go crazy. Crazy Joe, that's what they call me. I don't know why they call me Crazy Joe, they just do. If I can fill in that little gap there, that'll make me very happy. Oh, beautiful game, you know, just has to make me happy sometimes. Okay, so this is literally the extent of the human area. They're really not going to get anything else. Maybe an emergency shelter, if I can squeeze it in somewhere. put it there. No, we'll put it there. Fine. And I'd also like a storm defense bubble, which are, if I'm honest, possibly the most useless building in the entire game. Somebody may disagree with that, but I've yet to ever think, you know what I really need right now? A storm defense station. That has never crossed my mind for a moment. It's such a small amount of protection, right? And room is so valuable. I think that might be the issue, right? The space is at such a premium that buildings like this just don't feel very useful. I've never really thought about that before. Hey, maybe you completely disagree with that. That is absolutely fine. You're wrong. Okay, so let's fence this off a little bit. You are totally not even, are you? What's going on? Oh, you totally are. Sometimes you just view it from a weird angle and everything looks a little bit out of balance, you know? Well, let's go to about there, just so we can put across there without a problem. And then you even, I mean, there, that to me just looks like a bizarre angle. It's not, it's fine, but it looks weird. This is going to be the most clearly regimented and controlled place in the entire park. Everything else is going to be chill. I might have to do this. Just going to match that along the way. I'm just a little worried that my Brachiosaurus will go on a little wander, basically. I'm sure they won't. But I always say that. My dinosaurs always go on a little wander. You know, I'll have the Dilophosaurus randomly turning up halfway across the park. As has happened several times. Okay, that's not going to go any further, is it? Oh, you can go through there. I've never tried that before. Interesting. Okay, and then across. Boo! That's my bad, really. Okay, and now we need to cover this with trees. You must know that you're safe, but you're not allowed to look at it with your facial regions, okay? These are the rules. Bigger! Okay, you're allowed to see this fence. This is the fence that tells you you're heading off into the world of dinosaurs. I'm going to cover this side, though. Like so. Okay. And I want the gate to be right in front of the Jeeps. Jeepers. So about there. And which bit is the bit? That's the bit that opens. So let's get this bang on, alright? Bang on. About there. Bang on. You get in your Jeep, you drive forward, and you enter just the park. And it should just feel open completely. Now, you are going to go through gates, of course. We've been through this because I think it's important to have separate zones that you drive through, sort of thing. And I think you need to keep the dinosaurs a little bit separated. And you get to build these individualized, interesting exhibits and control what's in them, which is important. This isn't a Site B, this is a safari. But hey, we've got tons of room to play with. So we can go for like a nice big 7 or so, 6 or so maybe. How are we doing over here? Near enough done. Awesome. Wait for it. Wait for it. Come on. Love this bit. I love this bit. Timing was a bit off there, buddy. Usually, the call comes in just as the music hits a crescendo, and it's beautiful. I mean, that was very beautiful as well, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't quite perfect. Okie dokie, so that is on the way. Let's build up this... I'm just thinking. Thinking's dangerous, we shouldn't do it. For now, I'm just going to put a little path in here. I don't know what I want to do with the paths quite yet. We'll have to think about that. For now, I really don't like the idea of this. You know, I mean, it's fine here because this is the more controlled part of the park, but in general, I do not want... Oh, you're totally... Ugh. Ugh. In general, I don't want a path going around the park. It's going to ruin that safari, free-range kind of vibe I'm going for, you know? Straight. It's better. Okay, I'm just going to extend this fence a little bit. You're not going to let me do it there, right? Oh, you are, you cheeky little so-and-so. It really bugs me that these gates don't open in the middle. I totally get it. I like the design, and 9 times out of 10, it's not an issue. But at times like this, it looks stupid. Oh god, right. A little bit of concrete there. Maybe. Maybe? I don't know. I'm just trying to build up the opening. It looks a little bit more. It's got a little va-va-voom, you know. Can't go wrong with a little va-va-voom. Thierry Henry wouldn't lie to you. But that's nothing, right? That doesn't do it. That achieves nothing. It's stupid. Okay, let's get our Brachiosaurus shot in the face. And whilst that's going on, shoot them. Let's start getting our. I'm going to go for Parasaurs. I think it's nice to have that little bit of a little call back to Jurassic Park. But one thing I'd really like to do in this series is mix it up a little bit. You know, bring in some herbivores that we don't mess around with much. Kentrosaurus. When's the last time I made a blimmin' Kentrosaurus? Probably not since the very first series we did, the 48 species series. So stuff like that we're going to mess around with a little bit more. But for now, I do want some Parasaurs. And we're not aiming to recreate Jurassic Park here, so we're going to mess around with the colours a little bit. Unfortunately, all the Parasaurs look stupid. So we're not going to do Parasaurs, we're going to do something else. What are we going to do? Sintao, because Sintao is like the good version of Parasaurolophus, basically. This hurts my soul to say, it really does. I loved the Parasaur in Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, but I can't get on board with this one. I don't know why. What's your social need? Is it 5 or 4? I don't know. We're going to make one of every colour. You've got those big, noble, majestic, kind of dull-coloured Brachiosaurus stomping around in the background, and then in the foreground, running around in these packs, is these very, very colourful Sintaos. I feel like that's part of how nature just functions in general. You know, you look at like hippos in the wild, and then if there's birds in the area, they're always very colourful, but the hippo itself is quite dull colouring. I think it's a very normal combination, so something we're going to aim for. Okay, this is it for buildings. No, you know what, we're even going to do that there. You're allowed to see the fence from this side, but from that side, all you see is nature, right? You can see the gate, and that's it. That is your only, once you're into the park, that little opening there is the only hint you get. We're going to even make it a little bit more. Okay, that's too much. Just get rid of this a little bit here. There we go. Oh. I really wish you could place individual trees. I can see why you can't, because look how many trees that is. It's insane, but situations like this would be really nice. I'm just going to casually mention every now and again my huge wish list of stuff that I still want. There we go. Let's block that in a little bit more, shall we? No mechanical stuff for you. I might kill the storm defense station just because you can see it, and that upsets me greatly. What's this tree doing? Why can't you go stand here? That's fine. It's just like a weird little bobbly thing poking out. Oh, no. Cheeky. Cheeky. Okay. So, I mean, I haven't really planned this whole thing out yet, in case that wasn't immediately obvious. So I'm more than open to your suggestions at home, but a safari zone kind of thing was definitely the prevailing option. Maybe we don't even want fences at all. I just don't think it'll work personally. I think you want the fences. So I think you want to drive forward, and you look around here, you know, it's all nice and pretty, and then there's a tree line here, you drive forward, Brachiosaurus, blah, 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 and then you go through a tree line here, little gate, bam, next exhibit. And that's the only time you see a fence is when you go through the gate. How else would you keep your dinosaurs apart? You could make a cliff, but I'd be worried that they'd scale it eventually. Let's just give it a go. If we need to change something for the next episode, we can absolutely do that. It's not a big deal. We're just going to use an electrified fence. Now, let's have a think. How big do we want this to be? It's a Brachiosaurus, right? So it should be fairly big. You should be able to get into a position where you have a really good view of the dinosaurs, and it feels like a big exhibit. So if you're driving around, you can drive to around there, probably. And that's plenty of room, so about there. I had about the right idea, I think. Come out from the... Where, right, there you are, cheeky little so-and-so. Nice curvy path, I think. Here. Stop it, stop it. There, curvy. And we can make, like, zones, you know, people wanted habitat things. We can do that kind of thing with the safari. And we can build, like, a map. Stuff. I don't know what I'm on about, but we can build like a park map that we'd use to advertise our park in real life. We'll make like a little logo and stuff, because we always have to make weird little logos for the thumbnails anyway. We have to get this as tight as possible. I really don't want to do a fence all around the side because it'll look silly. As tight as possible. Come on. Any closer, any closer. I think I'm at the limit. That's probably the limit right there. Okay, so that will be the first exhibit. And then what we need to do is this. A little bigger. A little bigger. There we go. I don't know, I'm not convinced yet. I don't know what people had in mind for this. I'm just kind of going along with what people wanted, because I think it's a cool idea. I think it might look a little weird on this one, but eventually it's going to look cool, right? We have to just go with it for now, and then the coolness will prevail. So, that's it. And then we'll stick a gate in over here. Kill the trees, as I am wont to do, just like there and there. And that would be it. That would be the only hint as to where to go next. You know, it's all it's all trees. I really don't want you to be able to see the fences. It's kind of the goal here. You should feel ensconced. You should feel like each exhibit should feel like its own little world. You know, you drive through, and it does, right? There's a gate there, but other than that, it's just its own thing. You cheeky little flashy so-and-so, come here, you. Okay. Now it does. Other than that little gate over there, it just feels like its own private little world. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to build like 6 or so private little worlds that you get to drive through. Is this a good idea? Yeah, let's go with yes. So I want this to have a little bit of oomph to it and size. I think we're going to make like a... Oh, God, I wish I had a bigger brush. Like a ridge around the left. I don't know. We're going to mess around a little bit with some more interesting shapes and stuff, I think. This is not a ridge, this is a small mound. Ridge it up, son, that's what we're looking for. Ridge it up. That's what they say to me in the clubs, just in case you're curious. That might be too much of a ridge. And if we flatten this bit now, we can kind of dent into it though. Even use that to kind of hide the gate at the far side a little bit. And this is what the world looks like, right? Sometimes there's a ridge. Sometimes there's not a ridge. You just have to smack it around with the tool a little bit until it looks just a little bit more interesting, I guess. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna give it a slap and hope something works. Yeah, it's kind of got a natural little bit of rolling hills, a little bit of opening plains over at the side. Opens up a little bit, which I like. I wanted to extend that a little bit over here, like a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, maybe a little ditch here, maybe there's just this little bit here, there's a little ditch, who knows? You never know, that's the fun, folks, that's the fun. It can be anything we want it to be. I think, and the world itself, like even on these open plain bit, right, the world is higgledy-piggledy. These are official terms, please all integrate them into your vocabulary. The world isn't flat, even big plains roll and they have little mini hills and ditches, and the world tells a story in its formation. And that has to be our goal when we make these exhibits. Am I getting a little far there? That might be a bit much. Okay. I see you, fence. You're not allowed here, fence. Be gone with you, fence. There we go. Plus, having hills means the car's more fun to drive. Yeah. It's nice, right? It looks natural. I mean, from above, right, if we zoom out, it's going to look a little strange, I think, because it's going to be all these very clearly defined zones just covered in trees, but I don't really care what it looks like from a map point of view. I care about what it looks like here. I like it. We're going to put some trees and some water in and stuff as well, and that's going to mix it up a little bit more. Let's get our brackies shifted over, first of all, because they've been lying there dying for quite a long time now. Which is nice, but probably not a good thing for a dinosaur park. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I'm going to assume that's the case. Let's get these syntaurs out. Might need to make... I do want my dinosaurs to be happy as well, so if we need to mess around with their social a little bit, we can do just that. What is your social, buddy? 4. Absolutely perfect. Now, I know you're not happy, pal, but you will be, okay? Gorgeous. Love the syntaur. Syntaur and Mutabura are my 2 favourite in that group. They are lovely stuff. Right, so we need water and we need a feeder. Now I'd like to hide the feeder as well, which is difficult with the Brachiosaurus because it is this, you know, but we can put it there. And I think the trick, right, is to put the feeders and the water in very different places, because I can hide that feeder a little bit in the tree line, which is fine because it just means the Brachiosaurus will walk into the trees every now and again, which is absolutely okay. but then maybe they're there too long and you can't actually see the dinosaur, which would be silly. So we need the water to pull them back into the main part of the exhibit that you're going to drive through, right? Right, cool. Cool. So how do we want to do... I really like the idea, now that I think of it, of having one water system that kind of extends throughout the entire park. It crosses through all the exhibits. You know, it's thicker in some parts where the Spinosaurus etc. live, and then it thins out in little bits and goes off into little tendrils now and again and stuff like that. Getting very excited. Let's go for it. Right, I'm just going to make a river, first of all. It's going to start over here. It's going to start over here. Oh, my God. It's going to just start at the edge. How hard is that? Seriously. Yes, the sound effects are necessary. Right, so that's my river. It's beautiful. I think you'll all agree. It's quite nice, actually. And now we need to go smaller on the radius and just do little... We'll work on it just for this bit, first of all, because this is what we're working on. But maybe this bit where, you know, there's a little turning point, maybe some of it kind of just started washing over the land, and over time made itself into, you know, a bit more of like a secondary little river, a little estuary here. Maybe that one splits off a little bit that way, but doesn't quite make it, you know, it can't break its way through the land, so it kind of dies off a little bit. Gotta tell a story, folks. Gotta tell a story. It's always the goal. Looks like a little thumbs up. Actually, kind of looks like a bonk. Not that I'm experienced with that kind of thing, just saying. But it does, yes. And this would struggle to get up the hill area, right? So it would kind of stick to this right-hand side. And then as it flattens out over here, maybe, it would start to peter out. I don't think it would get this thick. It'd be quite a thin, weedy little river. And the rains would give it sustenance, you know, it would survive, it wouldn't die out. You know, you go to Africa, you see all these sort of dried out riverbeds. It wouldn't quite go that far because of the rains. The rains would go, that's a good point, the rains would kind of gather in the deeper points of the park as well. We could do something with that at some point. Have like little ditches that are filled with water, because that's where the rains of the island would gather. I'm very excited. Just want to knock some of this out a little bit. A little patch there. Yeah.
Asset has been delivered.
Okay, that's way too patchy though. The problem is if it's too much like that, they're going to come down here to drink, and I don't want them to go down here to drink. Oh no, gone too far. Too far the other way. I don't like how that looks. It's got this weird bulbous look to it, you know? Maybe that kind of breaks into like a little pool. And then around the pool, to justify said pool, the land's just raised a little bit. And that makes it into like a natural collecting point for water. Like so. You can't get it that close because it'll start to kill the lake, basically. Oh, look at them, they're beautiful. Right, Sintaos. How are you all doing? I'm going to shoot you all in the face. It's going to be a great time for everyone involved. Oh, right, okay. Let me just go make my ACU suck a little bit less. Where are you, buddy? There you are. Right, we need scheduling. Reload speed. I still don't know what the best combination is for this. I think of smaller dinosaurs, you want to emphasize the accuracy, and for bigger dinosaurs, you want to emphasize the reload speed. That's a theory. Also want to know what this tree's about. There's always one blimmin' tree doing this. It's mad. Anyways. Everyone's being shot in the face. It's a good time for everyone involved. Right. Yeah, I like it. Need some more grass and trees in sort of the main region. Now, they're likely, you'd say, to gather up a little bit around where the water collects, right? Just a little one there. It's quite nice. Emphasize the trees there, and then as it gets further down, a little bit more spotty. You know, this should be, it's like an oasis, right? I mean, it's in an area that's already very much filled with trees, but yeah, that's maybe a bit too much. Maybe the forest got out there a little bit, just extends a little bit further. We'd have a second lake over here, because why not? And then we can increase the ridge around that. This is like another Water's come down from the mountainsides over here, and the rain has just kind of gathered into this still little oasis in the corner of the exhibit. Well, that's the idea anyway. Maybe there's even a tree in it. Live the dream, folks. Live the dream. Right, have you all been shot in the face? Let's start moving you over. Where are you, pals? And so on. And we can put more stuff in here. I don't have any ideas right now. I'm going into this completely fresh. I want to mix and match my dinosaurs. Down the line, we're going to do something where we like keep late Cretaceous to Hell Creek, like we keep Hell Creek dinosaurs together. We keep all these various things together, or like eras, all the same stuff like that. Or we'll do one where we have like habitat based. This one is just a chill safari zone. I'm gonna wait for the syntax to arrive, but yeah, I quite like the look of the place. I don't know, like this bit's bugging me a little bit. Maybe I can flatten that out a tiny bit. I'm a little worried to do anything, to be honest. Just smooth that bit, more like a path through the valley.
Asset has been collected. Transportation underway. Transporting asset.
The hills are too rough. They don't feel rolling. It should feel rolling. This.
Asset transportation in progress.
Oh, that little oasis at the side. That's cool. Tell me it's cool. Little tree there. A tree right there. I like that. Kind of obscure the view a little bit. You can see it actually drive through. You have to turn and drive down there yourself. That's a dramatic looking Brachiosaurus right there. And it's time. Wait. I want to use that. I think it's just a little bit too far away. I love the idea of using the smoke, though, to take photos. Some people have done really cool stuff for that. Like releasing a T-Rex from a paddock through the gate or through a hatchery or whatever, and having a dinosaur land there at the same time, so you get this smoky effect as it emerges. It looks really cool. Anyways, we'll let our dinosaurs arrive, and then we'll have a little drive through. And that's about it. I mean, I'm 1.5 stars already. My facility rating should be really good. Yeah, it's 5 stars. I still don't think dinosaur visibility matters. Look at it, 0%. Everything is 100% except dinosaur visibility. Now, one of these this will not stay 5 stars forever, because I've only got one hotel. And as we get more dinosaurs, more people come into the park, and you need more hotels, basically. Which we're not going to do. But still, it's nice to have that right now. I like this, kind of just this little ensconced community, tiny little park, but that opens up into a world of just so much more. Where are you? Hurry up! I'm so glad you can do 5 at a time now. Wait, no. What's the Imperial Death March? Can't remember. What's Darth Vader's theme tune? I can't get Indiana Jones out of my head. Bum bum bum. That's not it either. What's that? Dum dum dum. I'm just trying to make it seem dramatic. It looks beautiful. It's just noble. This one looks like chocolate. It's very delicious. What would you call it? Wait, that's not it. I was closer, wasn't I? I was close. Is that it? No, isn't that the funeral song? That's Jaws. It's something like that, but that's definitely the funeral song. I can't not do Jaws or funerals. Is that the funeral song? I think so. Dinosaurs? Oh, I don't like that colour at all. Anyways, whilst all that's going on then, we shall hop in our Jeep and go explore. I do still want to add more dinosaurs to this, maybe make some changes to the exhibit. I am well open to ideas, just let me know in the comments down below. Why are my cars in the wrong order? Why does it go 2, 3, 1? That's very upsetting for me. I clicked the wrong button. Let's go. Chuka, 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 chuka. Just imagine you're in a tour. I love that. You can't even see the gate, you know? It just looks like you're entering. That's cool. It just looks like a world, you know? There's no gates, there's no fences, you can't see anything other than dinosaurs in distance. The helicopters are ruining it slightly, so we're going to sit here for a second until they disappear. The one on the left, yes, just vanished into the mountain like I thought it would. Wait for it. I don't even want to hear that noise, that waka 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 waka. You can hear it still. Looks good though. You'd stand here, you get your first peek of the dinosaurs, Centaurs hiding in the forest, in the shadows of the forest over there. Just about hear the Brachiosaurus in the distance. This is what I wanted. Just the world, you know? Maybe a snack. I'd like a few more dinosaurs. I might hide another feeder by here, because I want some dinosaurs to chill at the oasis. Maybe we get some struthies or something, maybe some galleys would be a good idea. I think they'd fit in pretty well. Maybe some Pachycephalosaurus kind of dinosaurs, maybe we get a Dracorex or a Stygimoloch or something. I don't know. I want to do something with this left-hand bit. I've got an issue where I like having things everywhere. That right-hand side looks really cool, the left-hand side looks empty. But this is what the world looks like. There are fields and there are plains. Not everything should have something in it. I think I need to leave it alone. Maybe a tiny bit of water, I don't know, but I really like the look of this right-hand side. That, I love that. I think that's really cool looking. And the Brachie looks so happy. He looks so thrilled. Slash come to come and kill me. It's kind of like a really happy looking clown, but you know that clown is going to stab you in the face, you know?
Joys of digital, huh?
No dinosaurs found. Interesting theory. Maybe they got that one. There we go. I've got the sand tower there as well. I can see why people want to make dinosaur documentaries and stuff. I think the dinosaurs need some more interesting behaviours before that's truly viable, but... One thing I'm excited about this series is... It suits just sitting here and watching the dinosaurs in this kind of situation, you know? Hello. You kind of just feel like you are... I really want them to bring VR into this game, man. Imagine this situation here, you just feel like you are in... Like you're a photographer in a park, you know? You're getting awfully close to me there, buddy boy. Well, let's see if we can get a nice... if the face wasn't in shadow, I'd be so happy with that as a thumbnail. It's a stupid shadowy face. That's cool, though. Tell me that's not cool. I think that looks awesome. We're going to end it there. Feel free to leave some more suggestions down below. What do you want to see in the next... I don't want to call... Do I want to call them exhibits? We'll call them exhibits. No. We'll call them something. I need a good name. Enclosure. This is Enclosure 1. Okay, but we could have some more dinosaurs in here. We could have something else. I like the idea of maybe the Dracorex, or maybe like a couple of Pachycephalosaurus, and then like 3 or 4 Dracorexes to kind of have that younger, older kind of look going on. But I'm open to suggestions, or what do you think Enclosure 2 should be, etc, etc. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you're excited for this series as much as I am. Like I said, we're going to chill a little bit more with this one, spend a lot more time just looking at and experiencing our dinosaurs, or at least that is the plan. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye. A little shout out at the end. This video and others like it would not be possible at all without the support of you guys watching me at home, and also everyone on this Patreon page right here who supported me in the last month. If you want to help out as well, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. Every little really helps. Cheers.